Hello everyone, welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you what is operator in Python. So let's just get started. So in the last video, we learned variables and data types. There's a data type named integer and float. Now arithmetic operator is only made by these two data types. So we're just gonna make a new file to see the examples. So we say operators. Okay, this could be fine. Right. Let's suppose I'm going to take it in n is equals 2. Alright, so this is our variable which contains a data which is integer. Now suppose this is a number, I say it number 1. And let's just create a number 2 equals 3. Now how about you want to add these two numbers? Now, how would that might work? We use arithmetic operator to actually use these for adding, subtraction, and other things. So, how does this arithmetic? What are these arithmetic operators? So, if you want to see, there's arithmetic operators, multiple plus, minus. We got multiplication, which is represented with a star. We got slash, and we got percentage as our arithmetic operator. Okay, now before that, it's called the arithmetic operator. But if you want to actually know what is operator is there's multiple type of operators. Now operator can be defined as a symbol which is responsible for a particular operation between two operands. Now suppose there's two numbers. If you want to make an operation between these two numbers, you use operator. Now there's multiple operators in Python. The number 1 is called arithmetic operator. The number 2 is called comparison operator. And number 3 is called the assignment operator. And number 4 is called a logical operator. And number 5 is called it's a bitwise operator. And we got membership operator. Now right from here, we're gonna learn these few operators, and the rest of it we're gonna learn it right later in this course. So don't worry about it, we're just gonna learn a few operators in this video. Now there's 7 types of operator in Python. So first is arithmetic operators. So if I see arithmetic operator is, you see example is like plus, minus, multiplication, division, and percentage, which stands for our remainder. Now if you actually want to see this, the arithmetic operator can only be applied with integer data type and float data type. So if it's an example, like let's just say number 1 is equals 2. Now number 2 is equals 5. Now how about it you want to add these two numbers using Python? You might as well use arithmetic operator to do it. Now how are you supposed to use arithmetic operator? Let's just say, how about I say result equals number 1 plus number 2. And if I do this and print the result, let me just right click and run this program, you'll see 7, right? This is going to run arithmetic operator. Now this plus sign is an arithmetic operator which represents a symbol. Now suppose if I say 2 minus 5, it will say minus 3. Now 2 multiplied by 5 is gonna be 10. Now if I say 2 and 4, if I say 2 divided by 4, it's 0.5. So it's gonna be like 4 divided by 2. It's 2.0. Now, if you see something that it always represents float number. Now, suppose a number can be float, such as if I say I want to divide 2 by 4, it will return a float number. That's the main reason it always does return a float number. Now, for it to return a whole number, you can do it in two ways. The first way is to typecast this to integer. You can do by doing this but if it's a much easier way is just putting double slash. Double slash is to convert this to a whole number. Alright. Okay. This is our arithmetic operator. This is the division, and the last thing is called a percentage. Suppose I want to see what if 2 is divisible by 0, or if 2 have a remainder, it's just going to return the remainder if after dividing 2 by 4. Let's just say if I see percentage, this will say 2 because 2 and it's 2. And suppose I say like 2, and I'm just gonna say like 5, and just add percentage here. The remainder, we're gonna get 2, which just makes sense, right? Right. This is our arithmetic operators. Now, the next thing we have is called the comparison operator, which I'm gonna teach you later. But for now, we're just gonna look at these a comparison operator. A comparison operator is used to compare two data types, compare two values, two data. So say comparison operator, which are like this: double equals, not equal, less than equal, greater than equal, less than equal, greater than sign, less than sign, and this is it. So now we're gonna see by each. If I say a number 1 equals 2, and I'll say number 2 is equals 5. Now if I say print number 1 is greater than number 2, now I'm just gonna close these things. Number 1. Now number 1 is equals 2, number 2 is equals 5. Now if I say number 1 is greater than number 2, the number 1 is greater than the number 2. This will return. Now if you want to see, as you can see, the number 1 is, I'm gonna take number 2. So this is number 1, 2. 2 isn't greater than 5. So what is gonna return is a boolean value saying false. Now if I say the number 1 is smaller than number 2, it will return true, because that return false because that's not a true statement. Now if I say 2 and the number 1 is 2. Now if I say if number 1 is greater than number 2, it will return false because 2 isn't greater than true. If I say less than, it's still going to return false. Now if I say greater than equal, it's going to return true. Say less than equal, it's going to return true. And this is how simply it will work. So by putting greater than or less than equal, it will check if the number is greater than the other number and if the number is same as the second number. The next up we got not equals. Now if I say if number 1, the next one is double equal. If I say double equal, it will return true because 2 is both values are the same, so this is equal value, which represent with a comparison operator double equals. Now if I say not equals, it will return false. But if I do this, it will return true, which makes a complete sense. Now these things are called comparison operator, and the next thing we got is assignment operator. Now these assignment operators is almost used as an arithmetic operators. Now suppose you say number 1 I say like number 1 is equals 2, number 2 is equals 5. Now, how about it? If I want to say that I want to add these two values and set it to the number 1 data type. So you say print number 1, and I'll let's say like number 1 equals number 1 plus number 1. So if I run this program, this will run 7. Now as you can see, I replaced the number 1 variable with the with addition of number 2 plus number 1. It can be done with a simple operator which is called the assignment operator. Now if I say number 1 is plus equals number 2, this will be the same thing. Now there's plus equals, there's not, minus equals, multiplication equals, percentage equals, double multiplication equals, which is actually forgot to tell you about double multiplications. If I just say, I just want to say number 1 double multiplied, okay, number 2 double multiplied by number 1. These multiplies defined by power. Say 5 to the power 5 square is also the same as number underscore 2 triple double star number 1. So it's really simple to use it like that. Alright, and we got these things, and we also have these are our assignment operators, which just makes it easier to use. Now this plus equals, now whenever I say number plus equals number 2, it returns a number 1. It will change data in the number 1, which is our left hand. A number 1 will change it to this number 1 variable and add it to with number 2. So number 1 will be a addition of number 1 and number 2, which represents us with plus equal. Alright, so this is our assignment operator, and we also got logical operator, which I'm going to tell you later in this course. So this is what you say operator. And one more thing before I go, I'm going to teach you a simple thing is called input. Suppose I am giving values like this, n is equals 2. Now if you want the user to give values, you would rather use a method or a function which is called input. Now this input function, I just try and pronounce it. So anything from our terminal type, this will be a value inside this variable. So this variable's value is going to be provided by the terminal. Now if I actually see the type of this input data type, as we learned in the second video, its type is called, oh, I forgot to provide the name. It's a class str. Now it's by default an str. Now suppose I want to take new variables equals integer. Suppose I take an input, and I say var2 is equal to an input. Now there's one more thing you can also add. Suppose I want to say that before actually provide a value to the console, I want to say like enter a number, and then they're gonna show me, and then they're gonna provide, and they're gonna say to click me. So to type the values, I say enter the first number, and I say enter the second number. So if I run this program, as you can see, every time before this thing, it will just return this value and then give me an input console. And suppose I just want to return the addition, like our arithmetic operator between these two. And if I say the first number 2, second number 2, this will say 22. You're probably wondering how. Because it's just concatenating a string. Suppose this thing, if we watch it from the str class, we're using type, and we saw it is called type str, which represents a string. Now if we use plus sign between two strings, they're gonna add or concatenate these two strings, which is 22. But this isn't the actual value, right? I want to provide an input from the console and add these value and show it to the console. So how to do that? It's simply by typecasting this value to integer. This is called typecasting. Now so the return string is converted to integer and adding the data. Now if I say one more time, 2, it returns 4, which makes sense. So in this video we learned about inputs and operators in Python. So thanks for watching. We're going to see you in the next video.